What is up, Double members? It's your boy Johnny, and today what I got for you is my settings for Apex Legends Season 9 and what I'm actually going to be using when going into Apex Legends Season 10. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, but basically I am now back on Xbox for the time being. My PC version of Apex has been causing trouble to the PC generally, and it's not actually been able to load up the game as well. So yeah, guys, before we jump into it, if you guys are brand new around here and you enjoy Apex Legends content like this, then be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that post notification bell. That way you never miss out on another video like this. Also, quick disclaimer, these are not the best of the best settings. I'm an average console player when it comes to Apex, so there are better ones out there, there are worse ones out there, but these have been working for me for a while. So if you give these a go and it works, then awesome, but if not, then adjust them to wherever is needed so they're suitable for you. And yeah, guys, with that being said, let's get right into it. Right, my people, I think we should just get straight into it. So, first of all, we're just going to go ahead and just do like the normal gameplay settings first of all. So, interact prompt style, I like to keep on compact. Obviously, when you have it on default, obviously, if you want to go pick something up, it does pick up like a lot of space. Like, a lot of people do like it, but for me, I just like compact. So, obviously, when I look over it, I know straight away that's a gold backpack. I know straight away that's an Evo. That's obviously purple Evo. I know that's gold helmet. I know that's gold knockdown shield. Like, I don't really need the details too much to tell me like it's got 125 shields on a red Evo or something like that. Then obviously I could get button hints. I obviously turn them off. Obviously that's down to personal preference as well. Crosshair damage feedback, I like to have X with shield icon, and then the damage numbers, which is quite important, I like to keep on stacking. So I think it normally goes and stays it's on like stacking in general anyway, but if it's not on stacking in general for you, then I seriously recommend you actually change it, because obviously when you do callouts in Apex Legends and stuff, you know, like when you're doing like a ranked game or maybe just playing pubs in general, you want to make sure that you're telling your teammates exactly how much damage you've done to the player. So I can say like, oh, I hit him for 90, and then obviously when my teammates want to go ahead and push, or like I said, like I've run out of ammo right now, my teammates can push while I get ready and stack up again, so I can go back in for the kill. So it's very important information you can tell your teammates. So if I was to switch it over to, let's say, floating, obviously you have to do a lot of maths to that. You're like 11 times 5, 55. Okay, I've hit him for 55. Like, it's too much time. You're wasting too much time on doing it. Next one's going to be ping opacity. I keep it on faded. I've just left it as that. Some people have it on default. It's up to you. I like to just keep it partially transparent so I can see in between, like, obviously pings and stuff like that. Obituaries, I like to keep on. Minimap rotation, I've turned off. I don't really like the rotation. I've done that a lot since the Call of Duty days when they said you can do minimap rotation. Weapon auto cycle on empty, I like to keep on. Obviously, it's just a bit more essential. Like, for example, if I ran out of ammo on my P2020, it would take me straight to my R9 and I can go ahead and just start firing. Auto sprint, strangely enough, I have turned on. I do think it's easier, really, and realistically, it's just to do this, really, so I can just show a little bit of finesse when I'm running about and stuff. Obviously, it's a very optional thing. You don't need auto sprint on to be the best player. It's just a bit more easier, really. Double tap sprint, though, I do turn on off. Obviously, I don't need double tap on if I've got auto sprint on. And jetpack control, especially this is for Valkyrie, I do put it on toggle. I think it's a lot easier. Obviously, you have to click and hold it on the jetpack. I don't like it. I like to just toggle it and just tap it as many times as I want to. Taking damage closes death box or crafting menu. Seriously, if you've got this on, no wonder why you're losing a lot of gunfights. Turn this off, okay? Obviously, let's say there's a scenario where you've gone ahead and you've killed, let's say, this enemy like right over here, okay? They've got the death box right here. You go to open it, and then someone from over here decides to go and shoot you. So obviously, if you get shot, you're gonna not be able to like pick up any ammo or do a shield swap, and obviously you're getting fired at that person. So that person already knows where you are. So you are just basically gonna lose the gunfight straight away. If you have it turned on, seriously try it turned off. You'll never want to look back at it ever again. Pop up, I keep on turned on. Just see, it's quite an essential thing, to be honest, so just keep it on. Streamer mode, obviously I turn that on and off, obviously depending if I'm doing streams or not. Speaking of streamer mode, I do stream as well on Twitch, not as regularly as I normally should, but I still stream here and there. So if you want to go ahead and watch one of them, click the top link in the description down below and you can drop a follow from there. Then let's move over to the juicy stuff, the controllers. So for the button layout, I keep it on button puncher. This is something obviously from Call of Duty, so I can obviously just press the right stick down as many times as I want. It's just a lot more essential because obviously I'm looking around, so I can just do crouching and moving around at the same time. But also I do use a pro controller, so obviously I've got one of my pads enabled to just doing crouching, so I can spam it as many times as I want to, and I can do spins and stuff and what have you. Stick layout, I keep it on default. Obviously some people play Southpaw and Legacy Southpaw, but obviously back to my Call of Duty days again, I used to only just stick on default because if it worked, it worked. I really didn't have to change it. Interact, reload, I do tap and use to reload. This is back from when I used to play on Warzone. Crouch button I set on toggle. Obviously I can do hold if I really want to, but I don't know, I just kind of just like doing the slide all the time and just pressing it, and then obviously cancelling it with the sprints and stuff. So yeah, obviously I could rock on hold more than happily because of the pad, and I could just do like loads of like quicker jumps and stuff like that, or like quicker crouching, what have you. But I don't know, just sticking on toggle, I've always had it since the start of Apex really, and to be honest I've felt a lot more comfortable with it after years of obviously trying to figure it out. It has always just been me revolving back to toggles. Aim button obviously keep on hold, you can do toggle if you want to. Trigger dead zones I put none on there. Menu cursor speed I put in between the second option of the trigger dead zones, like you can see it's just in between the numbers, the second one right here. So the reason why I play an ALC is because I just think it's a lot more easier to just adapt it very like specifically. I mean, Attach has actually done a video on this, so I will leave a link to his video in the description as well, because he explains it so beautifully as to why you should do ALC instead of actually playing on the default presets. Movement dead zone, obviously I have that on small. Inverted look and vibration I keep turned off. Obviously if you want to have the immersive feeling, turn on the vibration, but it does set me off a little bit, and it kind of messes up my aim anyway when I have it turned on, so I just like to keep it turned off. And now the juicy part, let's go to the ALC, or the advanced look controls. So obviously custom look controls you want to have turned on. My dead zone, I stick at 3% by default. It's probably like 15 or something percent. I don't really have that much dead zone anyway because I've got a brand new controller. So I set it down at 3, and obviously I don't realize any like weapon sways or anything. Outer threshold up on 2%, I think by default is about 4%, so I've just halved it. Response curve, I try to get over the actual default, which I think is 10, or I think it might be 8, I'm not too sure. But basically I set that on 14. My per optic settings, I like to just do 1 on the 1x optics, and all the rest have to be on 2. Obviously I've tried moving it about where I've gone 1, 2, 4, 8, and I've like obviously gone up with like the times the amount of optics it actually is. So like for the 6 times I'd put it on 6, but it's just been very sensitive, and just sticking with the 2 times, it's helped me obviously control it a little bit easier when I'm aiming down sights, and it has actually helped me win a lot more gunfights. So yeah, I stick with the 1x optic with the iron sights on 1, and that's the default one, and then I just go over by 1 on all the others. So 2 times is 2, and so on and so forth. Your speed, I've done it way over this. Your speed is basically like your left and right sensitivity. So obviously you can set it as 4 and 5 by default. As your speed, obviously you set it to 380, which is around 6-7 sensitivity, so that just feels quite comfortable for me. Pitch speed, again, this is when you look up and down. You can more than happily keep it the same, so you can have 380 on here and 380 on there, and have an all round like your and pitch speed being the exact same speed. But realistically you don't really look up too much in Apex, obviously, unless you're aiming down sights and looking up at like a little bit of a high ground. Extra yaw and extra pitch, you can just turn these all the way down. You realistically just need these 2 options here. The extra yaw and extra pitch is obviously once you've hit your maximum when looking left or right or up and down, it gives you an extra bit of sensitivity, and realistically I feel really uncomfortable with it. I have obviously had it before where it's at 220, which is the default, but I really don't like it. It just seems very strange, and obviously it's the first time I've ever properly seen anything like that before. So for the ramp up time, the extra pitch and extra yaw come into play with this. So obviously if you've got these ones disabled or set to 0, you can set this one to 0 as well. Basically it's the time it takes before that extra yaw and extra pitch actually gets implemented when you're looking left and right and stuff. The delay for it as well, as it probably states in the title of it, basically there can be a potential delay if you want to look left and right at a more delayed time, which again I really don't see why people have that on. Then moving on to the aiming down sight, again the yaw speed and pitch speed, like I say, left and right, up and down. So obviously I set it just above the normal default here, which I think is 112, I think it is, or 114. And then the aiming down sight pitch speed I've done slightly below the default, which is 80. I've set it to 60. It just feels really comfortable to me. So obviously I don't really want to look up and down too much when aiming down the sights a lot, but obviously looking down the sights and obviously looking left and right, I want that to be a bit more essential. So So it's sort of similar to, like I say, just doing the normal yaw speed and pitch speed when obviously looking left and right and up and down without aiming down the sights. So just stick with these really. Obviously give these ones a go, try 116 and 60 yourself. Obviously if you feel if it's too fast, obviously go a little bit slower. If you feel it's a bit too slow for you, increase them. Just increase them a little bit. So obviously you just do 1-2 on there and 1-2 on there. So just work it like that pretty much. And again, the extra yaw, extra pitch, ramp up time, ramp up delay, all turned off. Like you've got enough variation here anyway with your yaw and pitch speed by default. So I don't see why you need to get extra yaw, extra pitch in there at all. Target compensation, I like to keep on. Obviously, it influences the look input when aiming at targets and stuff. So basically, it's like your aim assist pretty much. And then melee target compensation, again, it's the same. And then target compensation style. This is something that was just been implemented pretty much. To put it into context, Xbox and PlayStation basically have better aim assist than what it does on PC. So obviously, if a PC user comes on to play console and they don't like it, the aim assist feels a bit more too influential. You can set it over to PC. It's obvious what it states there. If it's set to PC, it means that the target compensation is overridden to match PC values. Then obviously, just a quick one, my field of view I set to 110. Obviously, the ability scaling I set to enable, and sprint view shake I keep on minimal. Brightness, obviously, I try to keep it as high as possible. And then obviously for audio, just the master volume 57, 61, dialogue volume keep it 100. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much my settings for season 9 and obviously what I'm going to implement into season 10. Obviously, the main thing you want to take away from this is if you haven't tried ALC already, seriously go ahead and give it a go. Like I say, I will leave a link to attached video in the description down below. He explains absolutely beautifully, like the king he is, how and why you should switch to ALC and how important it actually is in the game. So seriously go ahead and check that out. And while you're down there as well, feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications. That way you never miss out on another video like this. And guys, my name's been Johnny. You guys have been amazing. And as always, I'll speak to you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.